How's it going, ladies and Bruce? Up over Sixkilla and welcome back to Danganronpa 2. Goodbye Despair. It is time to finally finish the 4th class trial. Pretty sure it's the 4th class trial. Let's continue, shall we? Fingers crossed. I still don't actually know who done it. I have no idea.
Hello. I hope your day is well.
It's alright.
I'm trying to force myself to be more energetic, or else my mental state won't be able to keep up.
I know how you feel.
My heart's thumping like crazy. I might as well have a laid-back, so what attitude and go ahead with high energy.
Sure.
Yeehaw!
So like usual, this will be an hour and a half long episode.
But be careful that
Prepare
your
for that.
batteries don't run out for various reasons.
Such as?
And just like I say each time, don't forget to save frequently.
Oh, I do. Because I only play it in bites. What advantage?
I never expected the funhouse itself to be the ultimate weapon.
That's right.
Oh well, let's just press on ahead.
What?
Is it really alright to accept a situation so easily?
That was so weird.
I mean, that's not what's important. The thing that's really important is the killer who used the building structure. Like, who's Mekumaru's murderer?
But is it really okay to believe the building is the weapon? Nagito said it, you know.
That's true.
There's no way I'd lie at such an important moment. I don't want to die either.
That's a lie. You've asked people to
the
kill you.
bastard who kept saying how much they didn't mind dying.
He's right. There was a time when I thought I could become a stepping stone for your hopes, but I will sincerely retract that remark.
Retract?
I'm disappointed too, you know. If this was a murder for the sake of hope, I'd happily sacrifice myself.
You say such falsehoods, per usual. There is no such thing as murder for the sake of hope. Murder is simply murder. Forcibly sacrificing others for one's own desires. Even one as diabolical as I would avoid such actions.
Avoid.
I see.
It's fine. Let's just leave him alone and find out who killed Coach Nekomaru as fast as we can.
Good plan.
Just so you know, it's not like I'm getting hungry or anything, you know.
Like usual. As per usual.
Akane, you were drooling waterfalls?
My tears, they flow like waterfalls. Nagito, as usual, I can't tell what he's thinking. I have no idea if he's serious or not.
Anyway, if the killer used the building structure, why don't we think about how they used it?
It's height, presumably.
How they killed Nekomaru.
It might be better if we clarify the cause of death first, don't you think?
Nekomaru's cause of death, huh? He was horribly damaged, as if he was beaten senseless with a blunt object. But if he was beaten with a blunt object, it wouldn't be a kill that utilized the building's structure. Unless it was he was smashed with the elevator. Yeah. Cause of death had also utilized the building's structure? Crushed by the elevator? No, because of the pillars, right? No. Yeah, the pillars would get in the way. Falling? Falling?
I see! That's it. I think he might have died from falling.
I mean, he's a blunt object. So is the ground.
If the funhouse's secret is that it's a structure where both towers and houses are vertically connected,
Yeah.
then the killer made use of its
Go
height
on.
and caused Nekomaru to die from falling.
Are you saying they pushed him off? Where'd they push him off from?
That, I don't know yet.
Don't just make things up when you don't know the method. Where in that building would you even be able to push someone off in the first place?
It might be possible in the tower. You could push him off the 4th floor when the elevator is on the 1st floor.
Yeah. If you could get the door open.
Did you forget how the elevator functions? When it's on the first floor, the door on the 4th floor won't open.
Saying he died from falling is truly incorrect. You should burn in the flames of hell.
Don't you think it's a little extreme?
But my gut is going crazy right now.
You fucking nutcase. If Nekomaru died from falling, where did the killer shove Nekomaru from? If I'm gonna reach the truth behind this incident, I need to solve that mystery next. I don't know. What do we got? Goodnight button, Akane's account, Fuyuhiko's account, elevator or something? Oh my god, there's a lot. Broken doorknob, strange feeling in the tower.
When the elevator is on the first floor, you can't go through the door on the fourth floor.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Yes.
Then, how about this? After locking Mekamaru inside the elevator, they moved the elevator from the fourth floor to the first floor and made use of the drop.
What?
Hold on. Did you forget the elevator has a sensor? As long as there's a moving object inside, the other door won't open.
I get it, I get it.
Which
The
means the
goodnight
elevator
button
wouldn't have
is the
moved
button on
either.
the back of his neck. So they pushed the
must be the
button so he
threshold
couldn't
that
move,
will-
so he wasn't a moving object, so the sensors didn't go off, so they could drop him. So we need to hit goodnight button on moving
You
object.
can't go through the door.
It'd be impossible.
Then, after locking they moved the elevator from the fourth floor and made use of the...
Hold on. Did you forget the elevator has a sensor? As long as there's a moving object inside.
No, that's wrong.
Someone put him to sleep first.
That sensor should only work if something is moving. If Nekomaru wasn't moving inside, the elevator sensor wouldn't have detected anything.
Could it be his sleep mode?
Obviously.
When Nekomaru's goodnight button is pressed, all of his functions shut down, and he enters sleep mode.
That's why it was broken.
If he's in sleep mode, the elevator sensor wouldn't have noticed him, right?
I see. So that's how...
However, even if they moved the elevator in that manner, Nekomaru would have just moved along with it. There would have been no drop for him to fall and die from. Yes?
That's what the chain around
That's what I was
the...
about to explain, before Kazuichi interrupted me.
That's what the chain was for.
Silence, pest!
Now you're calling me a pest?
A way to create a drop inside the elevator while Nekomaru's still inside. That chain around Strawberry Door. He was probably tied up to it. Jackie seems to have an idea, but what way could that be? Wire? Yeah, wire. Or chain. Damn it, there's two. Let's see what they have to say.
If you arrange it a certain way, you can cause the drop within the elevator.
So you're telling us all to think about the arrangement, right?
That arrangement is... The hammer is suspicious.
Isn't it about time we went over the pillar again?
What about the oil on the floor?
That's his
The
blood.
doorknob on the floor seems suspicious.
Doorknob, yeah.
I agree with that.
Because that would have been what he was tied to, right? The doorknob.
Didn't the doorknob have scrape marks on it? That might have been where it got scraped by the wire.
Is that the same wire that was tied around Nekomaru?
Yeah,
The tip of that wire was tied into a loop.
like a noose.
If the elevator moved while that loop part hung from the doorknob,
If they did something like that, he would have been suspended in midair.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Then it would have broken
he was
eventually.
suspended in midair. Huh? The killer tied up Mekamaru with the wire while he was in sleep mode. Tied the tip of the wire into a knot and hung it on the doorknob to the fourth floor. With that, they moved the elevator from the fourth floor to the first floor of Grape Tower. And suspended Mekamaru in midair.
He didn't even get to wake up. He died
That's
while he was
right.
asleep.
He was so well hung. Kinda like.
You better not finish that sentence.
Yeah, please don't.
the killer took advantage of the elevator's unique feature. Only the floor moves.
That's how normal elevators work, isn't
By
it?
doing that, they
I
created
guess they
a
have
drop
walls
so
too.
Nekomaru could fall to his death.
Too easy.
Okay.
So what if they created a drop? There's no way you can make him fall and die with just that.
It's probably a good point.
Why? If Nekomaru is suspended in midair like that, then how do you get him to fall? Because if he's suspended in midair, he won't die if he doesn't actually fall.
True. I figured it would just break eventually. The handle broke, right?
Even if they suspended Nekomaru from a wire, how would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him off. There's no way they could do that.
Keep going.
It doesn't mean someone had to push him off. It's possible that he fell on his own.
What?
Yeah.
Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right? If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that to himself. Now's the time. But in that case, you still won't be able to. Moving the elevator with Nek is just impossible. End of story.
Hang on. Thanks to Kazuichi, I think I figured out how the killer dropped Nekomaru. Right, for easy evidence, I should be able to break through Kazuichi's remarks too. Hang on, let me just have a look at... I can look at my things, right? Nekomaru uses alarm clock to recover from sleep mode. The clock's arms are stopped at around 7:30. And the alarm was set to 7:30 as well. So this woke him up. Then he wriggled and killed himself, right? That's what I would assume.
Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right?
Let's try that.
Allow me to cut through those words. What do you think would happen if Nekomaru woke up while he was suspended upside down in midair?
He would have flailed and shit, being freaked out.
What are you saying? Like, how would he even wake up?
He has an alarm inside his body. As long as it was armed, it would have deactivated his sleep mode. Which means the killer set the alarm before they suspended Nekomaru.
If you woke up from an alarm and realized you were hanging upside down
You'd
and
freak
had
the
no
fuck
clue
out.
why, if something like that happened to you, you would start panicking a lot, right? Instinctively, your body would start moving. Nekomaru probably did exactly that.
And he's super strong, he would have just torn the wire apart.
And then, in order to make him fall from the force he was generating, the wire was hung on the tip of the doorknob so it would easily slip off.
That would work.
In actuality, the scrape marks caused by the wire were near the tip of the doorknob, right?
But Nekomaru didn't fall because the wire came off, right?
He fell because the entire doorknob came off.
When Nekomaru awoke, he must have struggled much more than expected, which caused the doorknob to break off.
Makes sense
Was
to me.
that unexpected for the killer too?
Well, that's probably it. If they knew it'd leave behind evidence like that, they would have at least tried to do something to cover it up.
The killer didn't expect the doorknob to come off. The reason that even happened was because... In that case, she'll use my full power. Oh, with a fierce roar, Nekomaru put all his power into grabbing the doorknob with both hands. But... Clatter, 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 clatter. Not yet. Here it comes, the incredible strength of 1 million horsepower. Wait, isn't it creaking? If you break the doorknob, we'll be stuck in here. Well, that's really what it was. Then that's the clue Nekomaru left for us to find.
I see. So that's how Nekomaru fell to his death.
Do you finally understand now?
Yeah. It appears it's just as Miss Sonia said. I'm just a pest. No, I'm not just a pest. I'm a total fucking pig. Isn't that right, Miss Sonia? If I'm a fucking pig, you can say so.
No, I believe you gave your all.
Hey, why aren't you teasing me anymore?
This guy, he gets off on this.
Is Kazuichi
So
the killer?
thanks to that alarm, Nekomaru ended up falling while he was still hanging upside down.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he just crashed straight into the floor. Of course, you know that too, right?
Yeah, you hit the pillar. That's why there's blood all over it, or oil or whatever. Doesn't mean Nekomaru crashed straight into the floor. The moment Nekomaru fell to the floor, the only thing I can think of that happened to him was... he collided with the pillar.
I see!
We all know that. There's blood all
When
over it.
Nekomaru fell to the floor, he ended up colliding with the
Robo-blood.
pillar. Isn't that it?
Finally, the pillar!
So that's how the pillar shattered, and why oil was spilled all over the place.
See, I told you the pillar was the weapon. My gut was totally right.
You got it, Akane.
Well, the pillar was a bonus. It's not even clear if the killer intended that, or if it was just a coincidence.
At this point, it is quite difficult to find a clue that will lead to the killer.
Then what about the alarm? I'm positive the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m. And if we map it out from there...
Hold on, baby gangsta.
Stop calling me baby gangsta!
What did you say? Did you say the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.?
You didn't check it yourself? Nekomaru's alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.
Yep.
Nah, that's impossible. Because even though I slept in a little, I still got to the tower at 7 in the morning.
The other clocks are messed with, lady.
Now that you mention it, so did I. There was no way I could be late for Monokuma Tai Chi, so I left for Grape Tower before 7 a.m.
And if we found Nekomaru's body there, it would have been before the 7:30 a.m. alarm went off.
It appears yet another contradiction has been birthed. How were you able to discover Nekomaru died at 7:30 a.m. when you went to the tower at 7?
Because the other clocks have to be messed with. We knew that before the trial started.
That's what I want to know.
Another mystery I don't understand. Seriously. It's just one after another. But I can't choke up at a time like this. Just a little more and I'll be able to reach the truth. It should definitely be a clue to breaking through this contradiction. We already know the answer to this one. What do we got? Goodnight button, wall clock. I guess is it going to be about wall clock or radio clock? One or the other. We'll sit on the first one we get to.
We headed for Grape Tower.
Wall clock.
Before 7 a.m., I am certain.
But the alarm inside Nekomaru's chest was set for 7:30 a.m.
Uh-huh.
Nekomaru died because of that alarm, right?
His time of death and the time the body was discovered. One of those must be an illusion.
The killer probably did some tampering.
Yes.
They probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru's chest.
No. Oh, fuck.
That's gotta be it!
Okay, radio clock. Let's skip back through.
We headed for Grape before 7 a.m.
But the alarm inside was set for 7...
Nekomaru died because
His time of death and the time... One of those must...
The killer probably did some tampering.
They
probably
did
messed
do
with the
some
clock
tampering.
inside Nekomaru's chest.
Not the kind of tampering
No,
you're
that's
thinking
wrong.
of. You can't tamper with the clock. You can't change it.
No, the clock inside his chest was a radio clock, so it would have been impossible to mess with.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's no way the killer could have tampered with the clock?
Not that clock, just the others.
maybe the clock Miss Sonia saw was the one that got tampered with.
The clock inside Grape House?
No. I checked all the clocks inside the funhouse.
Oh, that's what I asked you to do. So you really listened to me and checked all the clocks.
And because of that, I can confidently declare that all the clocks
That
had
means
the
all the
same
clocks
time
were changed
displayed.
except Nekomaru's one.
If there's no possibility that the time was tampered with, then we must doubt that human's testimony.
Please believe me, we are not lying.
Then maybe it's a misunderstanding?
I never misunderstand. I'll crush you into dog food.
Time-related contradiction. I don't think I should doubt the testimonies. I should doubt the clock. There's no mistake that something was done, but what was it? Perhaps we've overlooked something. Maybe we're misunderstanding something. Think. If I focus and think, I should be able to find the answer to that mystery. Uh-oh. Logic, though. Alright, what are the buttons again? Go. Stop. Jump. Okay, we're good. Go. Alright, come on. Give me a question. What did Hajime and the others misunderstand? Time in the building. I didn't know there was 3 things. When did they start doing 3 things? Alright, here we go. Maybe we should play some SSX after this. Oh my god, maybe not. Definitely not. Jesus, I didn't realize it was going to be that hard to jump. Frickin' hell. Alright, come on. Whew. Rough. Oh, come on. Why is that so hard? You really gotta get right to the edge, I guess, before you jump. Don't want to waste all my life here. We'll get the hang of it. Terrifying, though. More worried about that than I am the questions. Which clock was tampered with? Buildings clocks. Shazam. Questions are easy. The jumping the holes is hard. Okay, this is pretty fun. Feel like a badass all of a sudden. Just for the moment, you know. Till I fuck it up again. Question 3. Which house had the wrong time? Both houses. Come on. How many times do you have to get me to tell you the same thing over and over again? That's how it is. The house clocks are tampered with. It's not that complicated.
It's all coming together.
Let's do this.
You said you checked all the clocks inside the building. Isn't that right, Fuyuhiko?
Yeah, none of the clocks had the wrong time.
But what if all those clocks have been messed with?
What? All the clocks?
So even if you checked all the clocks inside the building, there's no way you'd have noticed it.
Yeah.
I see. So the killer messed with the time inside the whole building by changing all the clocks.
So that's what it was. There's no way I would have noticed that.
Would have been impossible.
This is truly fantastic!
Now's not the time to be pleased. More importantly, how much was the time off?
She's right. That's the main problem. Need to clarify how much time was off after the killer messed with the clocks. That's definitely the next mystery. I'm gonna reach the truth in one go. Alright. I'm not actually sure if we know the answers to that. Maybe we need to check these accounts. Let's check Akane's account and Fuyuhiko's account. I don't remember what they are. I hate how they're just called account, because I don't know. I don't know what it means. It's not enough information. Fuyuhiko's account. Apparently Fuyuhiko saw Nekomaru walking toward the first floor of Strawberry House at 5 AM, so that's useful. What's Akane's account? Apparently Akane heard a rumbling noise at 5:30 AM. That's helpful too. They both help.
Then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock.
The time of death was clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what time
Yeah.
would 7:30 be? In our time.
Yeah, well that's the question, isn't it?
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down?
Oh yeah,
If only I
Akane's
heard
account.
the sound when he fell.
That one.
I agree with that.
Akane heard the sound. So that's when he died. 5:30, 7:30,
That's
2
right.
hours.
We should have heard the sound he made when he fell. Wasn't it that rumbling noise?
We were 2 hours
Rumbling?
behind.
I thought it was just an earthquake, so I went back to sleep. Was that the sound from when Nekomaru fell?
Imagine he's pretty heavy with his new robo body.
Well, a huge body fell from the 4th floor to the 1st, and the pillar fell with it. It's obvious we'd hear the impact sound.
We heard that noise too.
It was when we were gathered at the Strawberry House Lounge. What is it, Sonia?
Oh, well. That sound everyone heard? I did not hear it at all.
What?
Huh?
You probably didn't hear it because you were sleeping.
I could not sleep at all. I was awake the whole night with hunger pangs.
There's nothing to worry about. What's important is that rumbling noise anyway.
If we use that rumbling sound as a reference, we might be able to figure out how much our time was off.
2 hours.
I heard that sound probably around 5:30 in the morning.
Probably.
Huh? You can tell?
I instantly woke up and left my room. And that's when I saw the clock in the lounge.
Excellent work, Akane!
If that rumbling sound we heard was at 5:30, it's likely the answer to how much time our time was off was literally right in front of it. 2 hours.
I see!
Hey, we're back to full health.
Nekomaru's alarm went off at 7:30, and if we heard the sound of his impact at 5:30, that means our time was off by 2 hours.
2 hours? That much?
We were starving pretty badly. There's no way we would have noticed.
Plus, the funhouse has no windows. And there weren't any Monokuma announcements either.
However, for what reason did the killer alter our perception of time?
The reason is obvious. So they could lure out just Nekomaru.
Yeah. Lure out only Nekomaru.
If you messed with the clocks and used a specific thing, you definitely get Nekomaru to the tower alone, right?
Yeah. Because he knows what time it is.
From there,
He'd be coming for Tai Chi or whatever.
Success. That's all it means.
Besides messing with the time, the killer also uses a specific thing. If they're trying to lure out only Nekomaru, then that specific thing is Monokuma Tai Chi.
I see.
That's what he would have left for, because he knew what time it was.
That's it. The killer made use of the Monokuma Tai Chi activity in the morning.
How did they use it?
We were required to go to Great Tower every morning at 7 a.m. for that activity, right? But if they mess with all the clocks inside the building, what would that do to us?
We wouldn't be able to attend on time, but that wouldn't affect Nekomaru.
Nope.
His radio clock had the exact time.
That's right. In doing so, the killer was able to lure him to the tower by himself at the precise time.
I still don't know who it is.
When I witnessed Nekomaru early in the morning,
It was actually at 7 o'clock.
If I recall, you witnessed Nekomaru around 5 a.m.
Why didn't he come wake us
If
up
that
then?
time was also 2 hours off, it should have been 7 a.m. Yeah, that's pretty much it. At that time, he was heading over to Monokuma Tai Chi, right on schedule.
I see. Now that I think about it, I realize what Monokuma meant when he said those words.
Too early. He didn't even ask you yet.
Jeez, how outrageous. I honestly didn't expect everyone to ditch Monokuma Tai Chi. But it turned out like this after all, so I guess it can't be helped.
When you said everyone, you were including us, right? We thought we came to the tower on time, but in truth, it was way past the meeting time.
Lucky we didn't all get murdered for it.
Ah, jeez. That's, well, how should I put it? What was it? You know, tripping over a foot or something like that.
Are you talking about tripping over someone else's fault?
Never heard that expression.
Wrong! Too bad.
Liar! I'm right!
That's not it. It's incorrect.
That's definitely the correct answer. You always get so stubborn like this.
Let's just ignore the peanut gallery. Now that we've found out how the killer lured Nekomaru, the number of suspects has drastically decreased.
To who? How? Huh?
Hey, why would that decrease the number of suspects? Don't be a friggin' liar!
You'll know I'm not lying when you listen to what Fuyuhiko's going to say next.
huh? What the hell do you mean?
You witnessed Nekomaru going toward the tower. Did something else happen after that?
Are you talking about that alarm?
Oh yeah.
Alarm?
A little while after I witnessed Nekomaru, the clock in the Strawberry House lounge started going off. Plus, it was just before that rumbling sound occurred. That's it. So that's what it is. If Nekomaru died when the rumble happened, then whoever doesn't have an alibi at the time is the prime suspect.
Who didn't have an alibi at the time?
Really? Was there anyone who didn't have an alibi at that time?
I remember now. The sound was so loud I couldn't help bolting from my room. But there was one guy who never left the lounge. We were both on the same floor. It's pretty weird that bastard never came out of his guest room.
Which means that person does not have an alibi for when Nekomaru fell?
Can I get a picture of what it looked like?
Who's the bastard?
It's whoever does an alibi for that time, right? Can I look at the evidence? I can't. Hang on, pause. Who didn't come out? Fuyuhiko saw the clock. It had to be in Strawberry House then, right? Not necessarily, right? Although, all of us were together, I think. It had to be Strawberry House, right? Kazuichi was there. And Gundam was there. But that means it has to be Nagato. right? But he's been helping us actually figure it out, right? I'll try
You're
it.
the only one!
I'd like to get rid of him anyway.
The one who wasn't there. It's you, right, Nagito?
That's right. Nagito wasn't there. It was just me, Gundam, and Fuyuhiko.
You didn't come out, even though the alarm was going off like crazy. You weren't in your room, were you?
If that's the case, where were you?
Please, say something!
If you don't hurry up and answer, I'm gonna suicide dive you!
If I may be frank, even
You
if
may.
I wanted to go to the lounge, I couldn't.
You couldn't? What do you mean?
It's merely the foolish talk of the weak.
Not only did I not hear the alarm, I never even heard that rumbling sound.
He couldn't.
You're definitely fucking lying.
However, that is also true for me. It is obvious that I did not hear the alarm in Strawberry House. But I did not hear the rumbling sound either. Is that not strange? I mean, everyone else heard it. To be honest, it's not just them. The same goes for me too.
Huh?
I was in a pretty deep sleep, so I thought that's why I couldn't hear it, but it wasn't that. I probably couldn't hear it at all.
Couldn't hear it? What does that mean?
You still don't know. Think about what the three of us who didn't hear a sound have in common, and I'm sure you'll figure it out.
The only people that didn't hear the rumbling noise were Nagito, Sonia, and Chiaki. The secret is whatever these three have in common. Could this also be the secret that points to the killer? Well, they have the fucking deluxe rooms or luxury rooms or whatever it's called. Deluxe? Yeah, deluxe. Aw, there was my E. Son of a bitch. I wanted that. Nice. That was about to explode too. Whew, that was close. Where's an aim when you need one? There. They had the fancy rooms. Probably double glazed and shit.
Nagito, Sonia, and Chiaki. The three of you were staying in deluxe rooms, right?
Nagito got it because he's the lucky student.
If I recall, the deluxe rooms are...
Guest rooms are divided up by quality grade. The deluxe room is soundproof and has excellent air insulation. The standard room may have so-so insulation, but it's still pretty decent, and the crummy room has severe airflow and drought problems.
The reason we could not hear the rumbling noise...
They're soundproof.
That's right. It was because the deluxe rooms have superior sound insulation.
Why are you yelling?
You actually noticed that. Nice catch, Hajime. Are you using your ultimate reserve corps student talent? Now then, you guys must
Was that a
understand
dig?
by now,
Because I'm not
right?
sure.
The true identity of Nekomaru's killer.
Yeah, you
Hold on
still.
a sec. Why does that lead to who the killer is?
Why? Well, that fact just now is a very important clue, and a decisive factor in identifying the killer.
Decisive factor?
How? Somehow I feel like I understand what Nagito means. The killer among us. The killer who murdered Nekomaru. Why would that change who it is? Wait. How would that change who it is? It means it has to be someone who could hear stuff? How does that help? You again. I'm shocked. Are you saying I'm the killer? If it's for the sake of hope, then that's what I'd like to say, but I don't intend to risk my life for the sake of reserve course student. It's not Nagito? Think carefully. The deluxe room should be the clue. Does it have to be someone who wasn't in a deluxe room? It has to be Fuyuhiko or Gundam then, if it's from Strawberry House. I prefer Fuyuhiko, so let's pick Gundam next.
You're the only one!
Is he?
Gundam, there's something I want to ask you. When the alarm rang at the Strawberry House Lounge, you rushed over there too, right?
What's wrong with that? If the bell of catastrophe rings throughout the night, it is the universe's providence to stop it.
Why were you able to hear it?
Hear what?
Oh, he was in a deluxe room as well.
I mean, you were also staying in a deluxe room, right? Nagito was staying in a deluxe room in the same house on the same floor, and he couldn't even hear it. So why were you able to hear that alarm?
Now that you mention it...
Gundam?
There is only one possibility. You weren't in your room at the time. That's why, even though you were staying in a deluxe room, you still went to the lounge. Am I right?
Gundam, you have some sort of explanation, right?
Gundam probably couldn't return to his room because of Fuyuhiko. Me?
Because you would spot him, yeah.
After you saw Nekomaru heading to the tower, you stayed at the lounge for a while. Am I correct? Until the moment that alarm started ringing, right? If you were in the lounge for that long, the killer who had left earlier obviously wouldn't be able to go back.
Even though Nekomaru's murder was a death trap that utilized the alarm in his chest, the killer still needed to prepare the murder in advance.
Like putting Nekomaru in sleep mode and tying him up with the wire.
In order to do that, the killer needed to be waiting for Nekomaru at the tower. Which means when Fuyuhiko witnessed Nekomaru, the killer was already at the tower.
And once they tried to go back, they couldn't because Fuyuhiko was at the lounge.
In their original plan, the killer should have returned to their room before the alarm in the lounge went off.
He wasn't expecting Fuyuhiko to be up.
And they were supposed to stay in their room. They weren't planning to come out and go to the lounge.
Which means they wouldn't have heard the alarm or the rumbling sound, thus proving they were in the room, just like us.
The best case scenario would have been if those two in the lounge had gone to check the deluxe rooms. After all, if they personally saw the killer sleeping in their room, it gives the killer a stronger alibi. Unfortunately, they failed to secure that alibi.
Because I was in the lounge.
Lucky.
So the killer couldn't go back to their room, and ended up hearing the lounge's alarm.
Hey, what are you doing? It's raucous. It's louder than Supreme Ruler of the Netherworld bellowing for a sacrifice. They can make all that noise so suddenly.
But why'd you come out? You should have hid till the excitement died down.
Yeah.
Gundam tried to hide, and if those two went to his room to check on him, he would have been found out. That would have been the worst possible outcome. That's why he couldn't just stay hidden.
If those two had just checked the deluxe rooms as planned, that would have been ideal, but how ironic. The moment Fuyuhiko set foot in the lounge, your plan was doomed.
Why didn't he just sneak into his room when the alarm went off?
Please, can you at least say something?
Answer me this, including myself in my 4 dark devas of destruction. How many ears do we possess?
8?
The answer is 10. That's right, I possess 10 ears. That means I have
Oh, I didn't see that
5
one.
times the hearing of a normal human. The soundproof system here may as well not exist.
Is that your argument?
You bastard! Do you understand the situation you're in right now?
Do not panic. The truth shall now commence. At the
Well,
time,
you're sweating,
I
dude.
left my room to go to the bathroom. By coincidence, I heard the alarm. That's right. That's all it was. The world is always so simple.
Are you saying it was just a coincidence? Isn't that timing a little too perfect?
And yet, I'm being suspected by all of you. It seems it was actually horrible timing on my part.
I see. You're still holding out. Well, you don't have to admit it. We're going to decide who the killer is with the majority vote anyway. So, why don't we just go ahead and start voting? It's obvious that Gundam is the killer.
Oh crap, Nagato is the
Hold
killer.
on a sec.
You know, Hajime, this class trial, this killing, it's merely the opening act, you know.
Shut up.
Hey! What do you mean the class trial is just the opening act?
Yeah, kick his ass.
Perhaps I should say, it's just a farce. Just a boring farce. So boring, so stressful. I'm so painfully bored that I might develop stomach ulcers.
Okay, that's a little over the
Seriously.
top.
Let's just hurry up and finish this before I collapse from poor health.
Okay.
Nagito, something definitely happened to you, didn't it?
Yeah, man, he's changed.
At some point during the investigation, your behavior became even weirder. What actually happened? Did you discover something?
Well, let's just leave that fun for later. And finish this opening act already.
I'm still not convinced it was a
You
Nagato.
said opening act again!
Please hold on. We have yet to hear Gundam's rebuttal.
But he's completely shut up. Perhaps he can't argue anymore.
He's pushing too hard. That always makes him look guilty.
I was simply at a loss for words after being dumbfounded by your pathetic assumption. In fact, I shall deny the very basis. Your assumption has been wrong since the beginning.
Since the beginning?
Based on your assumption, I hung Nekomaru from the 4th floor of the tower and made the floor descend to the 1st floor. From there, after returning to Strawberry House, I was present when the alarm at the lounge went off, correct? Although going to and fro is busy enough as it is, how would I be able to travel between both houses anyway?
I see. The contact elevator was broken.
The secret passage that
As I
Nagato used, for
recall,
Christ's
the killer
sake.
tampered with the Grape House control panel, which shut down the elevator. Plus, the stopped elevator should have been facing the Grape House side. If so, the human who used the elevator would have left it at Grape House. For these reasons, it's an indisputable fact that the killer destroyed the elevator at Grape House.
And what's wrong with that?
If the elevator was broken at Grape House, you wouldn't be able to return to Strawberry House.
However, I was already at Strawberry House. I was present when the alarm in the lounge started ringing.
Yes.
Which means your assumption is clearly wrong.
If he did the final dead room, then he knows
And here I thought it's already been
the
decided.
secret passageway.
Have you learned your lesson, pitiful humans? You cannot overcome this contradiction.
That's wrong. When something is obviously wrong, that's when a contradiction is born. There's no such thing as a contradiction that can't be overcome. This one's easy. He had to have done the final dead room to know about the nature of the building. And then that means that he has access to the secret passageway.
That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses.
That's not true.
As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
It must be called contact
Plus,
elevator.
The elevator was
Or
broken
not.
at Grape House.
Yeah.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry House,
Since I
Nagato,
was
say
at
something about the
Strawberry House
passageway,
at
you
that
shithead.
time, there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
or if it was a secret passageway.
Yes.
How much longer do you plan to lecture me? Why don't we stop this already?
Contradiction with something. Yeah. We got this. Piece of cake.
That elevator was the only means of travel between.
No,
Lies.
that's wrong. No, there should have been another way to move between the two houses without the elevator.
Such a method does not exist.
Then why don't we ask the person who actually used that method?
Nagato. We know Nagato used that method. We've seen him do it. But presumably that means Gundam can as well.
You're the only one! Nagito, you should know.
What are you talking about?
Don't play dumb. You appeared so suddenly that one time because you used that method, right?
Nagato, why are you here? Because I showed up.
There's a secret passage connecting the first floor of Strawberry House to the third floor of Grape House. Isn't that right?
Jeez. Once again, I let the reserve course show up. But you're right. There's a door on the floor of the Octagon, which is on the first floor of Strawberry House. After I opened the door and went down, surprise, surprise! I ended up in the Monokuma archive, which is on the third floor of Grape House.
Cool.
Meaning the third floor and the fourth floor are actually connected.
Plus, once you've cleared the final dead room once, you can pass through it as many times as you want.
If they used that secret passage, they could have gone between the two houses as much as they wanted.
Infinity Unlimited Flame!
Okay.
However,
All about
what
the
if
theatrics.
killer was unaware of the existence of the final dead room?
Then they wouldn't know of the
There's
nature
no
of the
way
building.
They didn't know.
Yeah.
That is merely an illusion you have fabricated from your own suspicion. If you value your life, you should stop with your scrutiny.
There's no way I can stop.
Come on then.
Did you say? Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Sorry. Sorry, Incredible Hulk. Here we go again. Wire, goodnight button, tapped a pillar, radio clock, broken door knob. I don't really know what is going to be useful here,
Even
so let's
if
just
the
get into
turret
it.
box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities?
What?
I already proved a secret passage.
He didn't even say any
exists.
actual words then, he
Secret
just
passage
said
was at the
random
Octagon.
words, he didn't say anything.
Know the limits of your own reasoning. You say the killer went to the Octagon? Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the at least pray to the key which dwells in the light!
What? It probably means try providing the evidence that the killer went to the Octagon, right? The wire? I assume you got the wire from the Octagon.
Know the limits of your own reasoning!
So it was wire, was it?
You say the killer went to the Octagon? Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom...
Allow
Shut
me to
up.
cut through those words.
There was no wire
Wire
around.
used to string up Nekomaru's
Oh, and the
body.
hammer.
The hammer that looked like the weapon, and the chain on the door in the tower.
Yeah, that too.
Those are all the items that weren't in Funhouse. Where did the killer obtain them?
The only place I can think of is the Octagon.
Amazing.
There were various weapons and tools there. I'm pretty sure I saw stuff like wires, hammers, and chains too.
Since those items were used in the crime, there's no doubt that the killer went to the Octagon.
If that's the case, they obviously know about the secret passage too, right?
It seems this is the end. Normally
seems that
we'd
way.
end up listening to Hajime lecture us with a very long summary of the case. But there's no reason to waste any more time on this opening act, so I'm going to end this right now.
Hey, what are you...
First of all, by messing with all the clocks in the building,
Yeah, I don't have to do
tried to
the
lure
thing.
only Nekomaru. The elevator was probably broken by that point. Thanks to that, Nekomaru wasn't able to go to Grape Tower, which was supposed to be the meetup point. So he tried going over to Strawberry Tower, just like we did when we found out the elevator was broken. Well, it's obvious he'd attempt that. At that time, we didn't know the two towers were the exact same place. Also, the button in Strawberry Hall wasn't broken, so he was easily able to enter Strawberry Tower. But surprise! Gundam was waiting for Nekomaru's arrival.
Hold on. If Nekomaru didn't go to Strawberry Tower, what would the killer have done then?
Their plan was a balancing act of uncertainties. But even if they failed, they probably wouldn't have minded. They can just greet everyone the next morning as if nothing happened, and come up with a different plan.
And without such a risky plan, they wouldn't have been able to lure him at all.
I'm going to continue summarizing the case, okay? Through this,
Be my
Gundam
guest.
successfully lured Nekomaru to Strawberry Tower. There's no way he could fight head-on with the robotic Nekomaru. So by
No.
pressing the goodnight button, he rendered Nekomaru powerless without fighting him.
Hold on! You... What did you just say? That I didn't battle?
What's wrong with that?
Don't mess with me! Don't mess with me! I cannot ignore those words!
Why are you angry all of a sudden?
You fools do not understand! You don't understand at all! Ha!
Clearly not.
You make me laugh! After all this time, you still don't understand anything at all!
I don't understand anything. What does that mean?
You don't understand what that means.
It appears I cannot finish just yet. Maybe I'm just a human destined for hell. However, I cannot finish just yet. I cannot finish!
You should go faster
What
then.
do you intend to do?
It's obvious! I'm going to destroy your illusory assumptions!
Are you saying you still have more? You still have room to argue?
Go ahead.
Your words. You said I pressed Nekomaru's goodnight button.
Yeah.
However, that button was on the back of Nekomaru's neck. To press it, I'd have to get behind him.
Or one of your
Not
hamsters
easy to
would.
get the drop on Coach Nekomaru.
It's even more difficult if it's a one-on-one situation.
Just as I thought, truly frail. Succumbing so easily to this simple argument, it was just a mere illusion. If you want to set me up as the killer, at least surpass your own human limitations.
That's wrong, Gundam. You're the one who's wrong.
Such a wonderful line. However, I cannot say that I'm satisfied. Listen well. I shall teach you 2 tips for making someone admit their defeat.
Oh, thanks.
First, you must crush them with your own overwhelming power. And as for the other, you must provide a reason that will persuade that human. You have not fulfilled either of those yet.
I guess you really don't want to admit it. And just as you requested, I will provide an argument that'll leave you no choice but to be persuaded. Oh no.
I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! Show me the cadaver! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! For the Tanaka Empire! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire!
You can just mash this.
Nekomaru's back. Do you really think I can get behind him so easily?
This is
You
the
can't. Be a hamster's kid. Asshole.
Even if you didn't get behind Nekomaru, you should have been able to press the button on the back of his neck. As long as you have the power of the hamsters you keep with you.
Oh?
Are you seriously saying he used his hamsters to press the button on the back of Nekomaru's neck?
Yeah, he's an animal
Of
trainer.
course it'd be impossible for a normal hamster, but it would have been possible for Gundams. In fact, we saw that with our very own eyes, right?
Emissary of evil, in accordance with our ancient contract, the time has come to lend me your aid. Pierce through Supernova Silver Fox Sandy. And press the button? Truly, this is the skyline lamentation art of the demon mouse. Soon the door of destiny shall open. Lovely.
Now that you mention it, after Ibuki was killed in the music venue, one of Gundam's hamsters retrieved the piece of wallpaper from the baton lighting, right? Hey, with your friends and their exceptionally smart brains, it must have been possible
Oh
to
yeah.
secretly get one of them behind Nekomaru and press the button on the back of his neck.
How about it, Gundam?
Oh, he's gonna lose it.
Not just myself, but you actually brought up how splendid my subordinates are.
Worth it, was it?
I have no recourse but to admit it.
Admit it? Did you say you admit it?
It appears I've obtained a one-way ticket to hell. Fine! Then you must trample me underfoot and advance. Victory can only be built upon a foundation of corpses. You cannot find peace without sacrifice anywhere. Now,
Okay.
trample this life. Trample it as though it were mere trash on the side of the road. Pull the curtain strings of this worthless performance with your own two hands.
Overacting as usual, even as he's about to die. Cool. Alright, we got 10 minutes, let's do this. These ones are tricky, man. Reset the lounge clock's alarm. What? Oh. So what do we got? The door to Strawberry Hall got destroyed. Hamster and murder met up because of the lounge clock alarm. Akane heard something from her room. The door knob came off. He was in the lounge since early morning. What time did Fuyuhiko see Nekomaru? Come on, what do we got? Nekomaru's weakness is the button on the back of his neck. What do we got here? The wire wrapped around Nekomaru's feet. The killer destroyed what after leaving the tower? This one. Good, that's one at least. What was the fake weapon left at the tower? The hammer. Who gathered at the lounge? These twats. Why did Nekomaru fall? Because the door handle come off. Alright, we got some new ones. We'll check at this end first, I guess. Who heard the rumbling noise? Most people. Everyone that wasn't sitting in a fancy ass room. What was the fake weapon? Hammer. Good. Alright, what else we got? The wire. We hung the loop to the doorknob? Yeah. Good, good. And what do we got here? Nekomaru's weakness is the sleepy button. What time did Fuyuhiko see Nekomaru? Alarm set for 5:30. It's 2:40 AM right now. Is it this one? Okay, good. Alright, we're getting somewhere. What do we got here? Who was in the lounge since early morning? Fuyuhiko. Good. And then we got, what time did Fuyuhiko see Nekomaru? Alarm set for 5:30, it's 5 AM right now. That? No, we'll leave that one till later. We'll come back to that one. I'm assuming this is the last one though. Nekomaru's weakness is... No, it can't be the last one. Because we haven't got Nekomaru's weakness either. There's so many in this one. But I feel like I'm missing something. Who heard the rumbling noise? I mean, who? I haven't got a who here. We've only got, what, two things left to fill? Is that right? No, we don't. We've got 3 things left to fill? Alright, we're gonna have to do some guesswork here. We're gonna try this one. Yes. Alright, good. Last stop. What do we got? Nekomaru's weakness. We got that one now. Let's see what the base of the contact elevator. This one? Good. Alright, where's the one we missed? Where's Nekomaru's weakness, which is the hamster pushing the button on the back of his neck? There.
Here's
Are we
everything
done?
that happened in this case.
Shazam!
Let's first go over the many tricks the killer prepared before they committed the crime.
Yeah, it was a real dodgy one, man.
First, they destroyed the contact elevator. This separated Nagito and the others in Strawberry House from our group in Grape House. Next, they lured Nekomaru out by himself by turning back all the clocks in the funhouse by 2 hours.
As you do.
Additionally, in order to secure an alibi, the killer went to the Strawberry House lounge and set the wall clock's alarm to 5:30 a.m. After finishing their preparations, the killer went to Strawberry Tower with the necessary tools in hand. They obtained these tools from the Octagon, which you can enter once you clear the final dead room. This means the killer discovered the secret of the funhouse faster than anybody else. That secret being, Strawberry House and Grape House are actually the same building.
I'm surprised he was willing to Russian roulette himself.
On the morning of the incident,
Gundam, I mean.
Nekomaru woke up and headed over to Grape Tower for a specific reason. There, Fuyuhiko, who was at the lounge by coincidence, witnessed Nekomaru. According to Fuyuhiko's testimony, that was around 5 a.m. But by that point, the killer had already messed with our perception of time. In actuality, Fuyuhiko
2 extra hours
witnessed
sleep.
Nekomaru at 7 a.m. That's also the same time Monokuma Tai Chi begins. Nekomaru went to Grape Tower to participate in that. However, because the contact elevator was broken, Nekomaru was unable to go to Grape Tower, so he decided to try going to Strawberry Tower. But the killer was waiting for him there. With the power of hamsters, they were able to press the good night button on the back of Nekomaru's neck.
Power of hamsters.
This forced him to enter sleep mode, rendering him immobile. From there, the killer began preparing to use the ultimate weapon. First, they set the alarm in Nekomaru's chest to 7:30 a.m. so he'd wake up. Then they tied him up with a metal wire, tied the tip of the wire into a loop, and hung it on the doorknob. After leaving Strawberry Tower, the killer then destroyed the door button to Strawberry Hall. They did this to keep us from entering Strawberry Tower, and to keep us from discovering the secret of the building's structure that they used to kill Nekomaru. Then, they used the secret octagon passageway to travel to Grape House. After arriving at Grape Hall, they pressed the button to open the door to the tower. When that happened, the elevator-like floor of the tower began descending, and Nekomaru's body was still inside, dangling upside down in midair from the wire. The killer entered Grape Tower to see if their setup was successful, and placed a hammer on the floor to look like the weapon, then wrapped a chain around the back door. This was done to make us falsely believe we couldn't enter the tower from Strawberry Hall. With this, the killer finished their setup and tried to go back to their room using the secret passage, so they could craft their alibi when Nekomaru died from the fall. But something unexpected happened. Fuyuhiko, who saw Nekomaru earlier, was still at the lounge. As a result, the killer couldn't return to their room, and with no options available, time ran out. The lounge's wall clock alarm started ringing at 5:30. Well, actually 7:30. To avoid a worst-case scenario, the killer was forced to appear in front of Fuyuhiko with the others. When the wall clock's alarm rang, that was also the same time Nekomaru was waking up. He woke up while he was still hanging upside down, so he couldn't help but sway his body powerfully. Originally, the loop of wire was only supposed to slip off the doorknob. But because there was a heavier load than expected, the doorknob ended up breaking. Nekomaru fell from the 4th floor all the way to the 1st floor. He crashed into the pillar, which decapitated him on impact, and died. The sound of Nekomaru's impact echoed throughout the funhouse. However, by this point, the killer's plan was about to fail, thanks to the broken doorknob and Fuyuhiko. Meaning, the killer is someone who wouldn't have heard the alarm if they were in the deluxe room. They also wouldn't have been able to return to their guest room, because Fuyuhiko was at the lounge. That someone is Gundam Tanaka. I can't think of anyone else but you.
Splendid. That was splendid. For a mere human, you did quite well.
Stop. Stop it already. Stop using weird words to avoid the truth. Or I'll friggin' kill you myself!
I cannot believe it. I just cannot believe. You killed Nekomaru? I cannot believe something like that.
You don't wish to forgive me? Do you feel regret? Then finish it! Cast your impure votes for Gundam Tanaka! My beloved, deadly foes, let the voting time begin!
Okie dokie. Not too bad. I'll take an A. I like an A.
This result isn't all that exciting. Now then, please pull the lever in front of you and cast your vote. Who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? Please pull the lever! Crap! I bit my tongue at the most important part!
Don't worry, you're a mechanoid or something, aren't you? Your tongue's made of metal. Shouldn't matter. You're probably just talking out of a speaker. Ta-da! Well, I wanted to get rid of Nagato, but Gundam's a good start. I'll definitely not miss having him around. It'd be better if I bit my tongue again, so I'll speak slowly. Judging from the results, you guys were correct once again. Getting 4 in a row without any mistakes is a splendid achievement. That's right, the one who killed the robotic Nekomaru in the amazing funhouse was Gundam Tanaka. Yay, I said all that without biting my tongue.
Now then.
Now that we've decided who the killer is, let's do the execution already and get this over with. Hold on. Is it true that class trial's finished, but that doesn't mean the incident is over. We can't finish yet until we hear it from Gundam.
Jeez.
No matter what he says, it won't change a thing. Well, I have no right to stop you either, so do whatever you like.
Oh, my tears.
Why do you want to talk to the one who is lost? The loser merely leaves. It would be unnecessary for me to say something.
Listen well.
Is what I would like to say, but for honor's sake, I shall correct one thing. Correct?
Pitiful.
You guys said I made Nekomaru powerless without fighting him. That, however, is a great mistake. Huh?
Fine.
Nekomaru did fight. That is no mistake. And because he fought, he lost and died.
Damn it!
Lost and died?
This, too, must be the will of causality.
If he was just trying to cling to life, there are many ways he could have done so. However, he did not allow that. What do you mean? Explain. Fine then, I shall reveal
Let's
it all.
make history.
Within the final dead room, I discovered the secret of the funhouse, and I devised a killing plan utilizing that secret. By tampering with all the clocks in the building, I succeeded in luring Nekomaru to the tower, and this is what happened. Nekomaru and I were alone in the tower, standing face to face with one another. I should say I expected as much from Nekomaru. He sensed my subtle killing intent and instantly understood the situation. And we had ourselves a stare down. In that situation, if he wanted to run away, it would have been easy for him to do so. He could have run away, or even called for help, but he did not turn his back on me. Instead, he chose a fight that risked life and death. A fight that risked life and death? He was serious too. He gave it his all to try and kill me. If I died instead, the mystery surrounding the case would have been even more complicated. You would never know why I, the victim, went to the tower by myself. Nobody would know that the victim, me, was actually the one who planned the whole thing. Nekomaru really did that?
Sensing even my subtle killing intent, as expected of you, Nekomaru.
The scorching, stinging, tense atmosphere. I've been a team manager for so long, I'd nearly forgotten this. This is great! What a comforting atmosphere!
That's a great one.
And what is your reason? Do you intend to resolve this situation by killing me?
I am the Warlock, Gundam Tanaka! Heroes, Lords of Darkness, and even the gods themselves flee from me. I need not cling to any trivial reason. I'm simply going to kill you because your very existence is an annoyance.
I disagree. I think your existence is an annoyance.
You'll drench your soul with evil until the bitter end, huh? Splendid! In response to your spirit, I shall kill you with all of my might. I won't go easy on you. Don't even think about holding back. Don't waste your breath on cowardly tactics. Give me everything you got.
He did cowardly though. He threw a hamster on your sleep button.
Your blood will drench the foundation of my empire.
That is...
Why'd you fight? We're all friends. I don't believe a word of it. Why couldn't you stop this? He's such a big, useless dork, I wouldn't believe anything he said. Even if both sides agreed, it's still wrong. I will not argue. I have no intention of forcing my values upon you. However, I must say this. What's the point of living if you're just waiting until you finally die? There is nothing courageous about that. It is abandonment. A mere feeling of resignation. Wait, are you telling us to just wait here until we starve to death? I'd rather have that happen to us than have our friends kill each other. Do you mean that you'd rather die?
Fall, my tears.
Ever since we were locked inside that building, everyone has been dominated by the feeling of abandonment. However, nothing is born from resignation. That is simply a reason to give up.
You will die.
Giving up on life, that's an insult to life itself. Have you fools heard the term of the term dog eat dog? Cannibalism? In zoology, cannibalism is a commonly observed phenomenon. Many creatures at some point in their lifespan engage in cannibalism. That is what it means to live. If you say killing for the sake of living is evil, then what would you call giving up on life itself?
This world.
If a world would consider that justice, then I will fight that world with every last fiber of my being. Giving up on life and choosing death is nothing but a blasphemy toward life.
I renounce you!
It is a violation of the natural order. It is the arrogance of humanity. Are you saying all that to justify what you did? Well, it sounds like Nekomaru felt the same too. That's why they fought, right?
Damn it.
Fine.
That man had the courage to die when he needed to die. That is why he challenged me to our battle. Regardless, as I've already said, I do not intend to force my values upon you fools. I betrayed you all. That is the absolute truth. But even so, don't you think it is a better alternative to slowly starving to death here? No, because he wouldn't let us starve to death. It wouldn't be fun for his game. That belief is where you committed your crime. What about the final dead room? Did you do the Russian roulette too?
Let's make history.
Unlike Nagito, I only did it once, but compared to my battle with Nekomaru, that was mere child's play.
Well?
You know, after listening to you talk for a while, I'm starting to think that, well, it's also because you unexpectedly admitted your crime without much resistance. Gundam, don't tell me you didn't sacrifice yourself for our sake, did you? I can't believe you would ask such a foolish question.
My name is Gundam Tanaka!
Who do you think I am? I'm Gundam Tanaka, history's greatest monster. My cursed existence is feared by all mankind. There's no way I'd sacrifice myself for the sake of you fools.
Like
Not in a million, not in a billion, not in 10,000 billion years. In the name of pandemonium, it isn't possible. Is that it? Then I'll just leave it at that. Now then, let us be rid of this foolish talk. It is about time the fun started. Monokuma, let us begin. Yeah, you got it. I prepared a special punishment for the ultimate breeder, Gundam Tanaka.
Wait!
Is he gonna make his hamsters fuck him to death? Because that would be an awesome way to go. Just... Please, Monokuma, please help Gundam. Miss Sonia.
How pitiful.
Sonia. As an act of as unrefined as stopping a man from going to his death does not befit a noble such as yourself. Gundam. It's fine to start for reals, right? Yes, I do not mind, however...
My 4 dark devas of destruction. Are you worried about me? Oh, my feared 4 dark devas of destruction. That is not like you at all. However, there is no need to fear. In this world, I am only a temporary visitor. I was simply visiting for a moment, and now that my duty is complete, I must return to the darkness. That is why,
it's kind of screwloose, man.
The very end. Pride, conceit, courage, insolence, fearful of nothing, daunted by nothing. Let us laugh uproariously! That is Gundam Tanaka! I shall stick with my evil until the very end!
You're so
Open
cheesy.
Sesame Pandemonium! I shall fill hell with true hell!
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Well, I'm glad to get rid of him, to be fair. He's so fucking ridiculous. Now we just gotta get rid of Nagato and we'll be fine. Gundam Tanaka Stampede. Well, it's not as good as having his hamsters fuck him to death, but it's kind of relevant. Gonna get a wriggle on with that stick, my man. This is so weird. Gundam. No, no. Good riddance. Even after Gundam's gone, the spirit of his parting words still lingered deep in our chests. Don't give up on life. Did I misunderstand what he meant? And what's the right thing to do? I don't know. No matter how much I think about it, I don't know if I'll ever be able to answer that.
Damn it.
I'm so pissed off I need to throw something. You'll spend so much time worrying about each other, and thanks to that, things ended up like this. You're all full of shit, every last one of you. But the biggest piece of shit is me.
Worst.
Damn it, why am I so weak?
Oh.
Such a downer, clearly. But still, even though we feel this way, we've got to do our very best.
Right.
This time around, we must move forward. We must continue to live and believe in our friends. If not,
You are right.
Gundam will most likely crawl his way out of hell, and I presume he will be very cross with us. You're right. You're right. We shouldn't just stand here. I mean, it's not like this is over. We still have to do it. We still have to finish this. For the sake of our friends who have died, we need to finish this once and for all. So, don't just stand there. Stand up and walk. Move forward. Live. If you don't, everyone who fought and died will have died in vain. We can't allow that.
Hey!
So how long are you guys going to stand around chattering? The class trial's over, so it's okay for you to hurry back over to Jabberwock Island. However, the killing school trip will proceed as usual, so make sure you know that.
Wait!
Hold on! How much longer are you going to keep doing this? Until we stop them or there's no one left. Seriously, how long is everyone going to keep doing this? How long is this going to continue?
Now then.
Alright, after feeling down for so long, I finally feel refreshed. Let's hurry back and eat some food.
Hey!
Hold on a sec, that mood shift is too
Not
fast.
like that.
Well, you know, it's like Gundam and Nekomaru said. That's what it means to live, right? She's certainly something else. But seriously, I'm starving.
Hey.
Now let's go back for now and eat. And then, after we're full, let's sleep as much as we
Right.
want. And then let's do our best again. Yeah, you're right. With this, the class trial had come to an end, and once again we returned to Jabberwock Island. The size of our group has definitely diminished, but despite that, even if it was just the rest of us, we did our best to stay upbeat and have fun together. Of course, our optimism was only superficial. But at that moment, we were able to forget about the dark despair looming before us. However, the only thing I was worried about was him. He wasn't there. He suddenly disappeared from our sight. It's gotta be Nagato, right? Yep, I'm definitely lucky. I never expected to obtain so many valuable things from a simple game of Russian roulette. Thanks to that, I was able to learn the identity of our true enemy. And before everyone else, too. But it's just too funny, I mean, no one could tell that I was lying. There's no way the file I had just Hajime's information.
Well,
I guess they were too busy with other matters, or maybe they've reached their limit. Regardless, I was saved. Things would get complicated if they found out. Anyway, I can't forgive this. This should never be forgiven. There's no way I can let this run loose. I'll be the one who stops this once and for all, even if it costs me my life. For the sake of hope, I cannot ignore this.
Monokuma appears!
Alright, Monokuma has arrived. Who summoned me? Thanks for coming. Why, it's the lonely little Nagato. You all alone tonight too? So what's up? Your face looks scary. I see, so you can tell. Perhaps you found out who the traitor is. You know me well. That's what I'd like to say, but unfortunately I haven't learned that yet. I see. So even you don't know, huh? Looks like the final showdown is going to take a little more time.
Hello.
So why'd you summon me anyway? Are you finally going to confess your love? I summoned you because there's something I really need to ask you. It's about the special prize from the final dead room. Oh yeah, what about it? There was information about 16 people in the file I received. But isn't that weird?
Say what?
What's weird?
don't even know?
There's a traitor from the Future Foundation hiding among us, right? Including that person, the total number of students would be 16, right?
Isn't that right?
But this file contains documents that were created at Hope's Peak Academy, right? That's right, I just reused the stuff that former headmaster spent a lot of time making. If this file even contains information about the traitor, was that person also a former student of Hope's Peak Academy?
Who knows?
I wonder. Could it be? Is this your doing? Did you slip false information into the file? Were you trying to keep us from learning the traitor's identity by obtaining this information? What's wrong with that? If it's my job to heat things up, it's okay if I do something small like that, right?
Well,
that's not my point. My point is you already know who the traitor is. What's wrong with that?
You're getting all riled up!
Well, you're splendidly correct when you say I knew who the traitor was all along. But even though I know who it is, why do you think I ignored it on purpose? It's just like Mon and me after losing her magic stick. The traitor's existence means absolutely nothing to me. Their existence means nothing, huh?
No!
Well, that's just how I feel. I'm sure you guys feel somewhat different. After all, that person is the evil Future Foundation lackey who's putting you guys through this awful stuff. That's not entirely true. I didn't really come here to fight or anything like that. Instead, I came here to offer my cooperation, you know? Cooperation? Your purpose is to fill everyone on this island with despair, right? That's why you're intentionally letting the traitor do as they please, right? If that's the case, I might be able to cooperate somewhat too. However, in exchange, I want to know who the traitor is. I see, interesting. Very interesting.
No!
Obviously, that's a big no-no.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I want to make everyone in your group feel despair. That includes you too. I knew you'd say that. Besides, I just wouldn't be able to handle the sadness when you inevitably betrayed me later on. Just as I thought, you saw right through me. No matter what the situation I find myself in, my core way of thinking will never change. In order to create absolute hope that shines brightly, stepladders such as myself and despair exist. You're right. You're a true believer of hope after all. I must say that belief reminds me of that person for some reason. Reminds you? I don't know what you're talking about, but if someone as worthless as me reminds you of some other person, they must be extremely unlucky. But you're just as unlucky, right? I mean, the fact that you're even involved in something like this? Am I? I actually think I'm very lucky. Huh?
Don't know?
Wouldn't you say that coming across this much despair is a rather rare opportunity? I can't rely on anyone on this island. That's why I have to be the one who does it. If I can eliminate despair from this island, I won't be a stepladder anymore. I'll become true hope. I'll become an existence that could even be called ultimate hope. The two of you are alike. You definitely remind me of him. There's one more thing I want to ask you.
See?
Who are you waiting for on this island? Huh? Looks like I'm right again. You're definitely waiting for someone on this island. Is the person you're waiting for already on the island?
Hey.
Well, answer my question.
That's...
If that's the case, if that person is already on the island, wouldn't that be exciting? No. No, it wouldn't. Shut up. It's doing something again. 5 days left? That's probably not good. We're running out of time. Gundam. Piece of crap. Killing my friend Nekomaru. I love Nekomaru. Bastard. Well. Looks like we're gonna wrap this one up. Hellhound earring. Nice. Lovely. Alright, we're gonna wrap this one up here. Another hour and a half long episode, but don't worry, we'll be kicking back into the 30-minute episodes again until the next trial. Which will probably, with the amount of days left and the amount of students left, probably be the last trial. But we'll see. I don't really know at this stage. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.